Hello, everybody. This is week 5, and we're talking about the advancement of technology that occurred in California for this discussion board week. As well, I kind of want to talk about the importance of being careful consumers, which is my main point. Um, this uh, this main point will become clearer as we get closer to the end of the presentation. I'm going to be a little bit quick since it's a lot of information I'll be presenting. With that being said, I'll begin. The roadmap to transcontinental phone calls, radio, television, and the internet. I want to begin by talking about Lee DeForest. He earned his PhD in 1899 from Yale University. He moved to Palo Alto, California in 1910. He worked for a Federal Telegraph Company. In 1912, he invented a vacuum tube called the Audion that converted alternating currents to direct current and functioned as an amplifier. His invention was bought by the American Telephone and Telegraph Company for $50,000. Later, Boris invented an oscillator for radio telephone transmission, which allowed sounds to be broadcasted over airways. Um, Another individual during his time period was Edwin Howard Armstrong, um, who was also making similar discoveries as those of Lee DeForest. Both individuals are credited for discovering the foundational components for the function of the telephone, television, and radio. Um, However, this technological advancement needed some work because the inadequacy of the vacuum tubes, which were prone to overheat, fragile, energy consuming, and very bulky. A new conductor was needed, which led to the discovery of the junction transition. The individuals accredited for this were William Shockley, John Braid, Brading, and Walter Brattain. Um, Shockley advanced this discovery later on by producing a silicone transitor, which is more resourceful and less likely to heat up. These technological advancements led to discovery imagery and advancement of sound technology. Discovery imagery was by Philo T. Farnsworth. He was a native of Utah. He moved to San Francisco in 1925. In 1927, he was able to transmit a simple image from electronic conduits that became the basis for television technology. And advancement of sound technology was done by David Packard and William Hewlett. Their company was located in Palo Alto, California. By the 1930s, they perfected the audio oscillator and made a deal with Walt Disney. Yes, they did not, however, invent it. They only, I guess, maximized the potential. With the advancement of the previous technology we're talking about, came about the discovery of personal and supercomputers. Fairchild Semiconductor Company was founded by Robert Noyce after separating from Shockley. Noyce worked with Jack Kilby to invent the integrated circuit chip. In 1968, Noyce leaves Fairchild Company and found Intel Corporation with Gordon E. Moore. Ted Hoff, an electrical engineer of Intel, invents the microprocessor chip, which had the capacity of the ENIAC computer of 1945. During the same time period, Stephen Paul Jobs and Stefan Wozniak worked together to create a personal computer. This is what we now know as the Apple computer and the big corporation of Apple. What is the reason for these technological advancements? Are there innovations today? I would say the reason for these technological advancements is the freedom that the West gave people. By this, I mean that when people came to the West, they didn't have much religious restrictions, neither was there that many governmental restrictions. The need also to um, develop an infrastructure was important due to there being no prior society here in the West, so they had to be resourceful. Another, I think, important, uh, uh, another reason for technological advancement is the building of university and colleges, which allowed individuals to, invent and discover things. Um, Innovations in California today, I would say the infrastructure, such as buildings and homes. Um, we know that California is hazardous, is prone to earthquakes, and so we can see with the developments of buildings nowadays as well as homes, there has been advancement on how we build these buildings due to earthquakes. We're trying to build buildings more resistant to earthquakes. As well for resourcing, I would say we're trying to find different advancements on how we use our water due to California being prone to droughts. Another thought was the advancement in technology of automobiles. Um, we've been really, I guess, pushing forward for cleaner air. So why mention these technological discoveries and advancements? All of these are important. Well, the three examples of imagery, sound, and computers are important because they are the basis for most of our technology today, and they each go hand to hand. What I mean by this is that without a processing chip, where are we able to store information? Without silicon transistors, how do we pass information onto these processing chips? As well, if we don't have audio oscillators, how can we produce sound that is stored onto these chips? Um, with all that being said, my main point is that although technological advancements may seem promising, we must be careful. Um, the reason for this is because all these technological discoveries interact with our senses. Examples of this would be sight and hearing. This is important because what our senses perceive become experiences, and these experiences usually begin to form thoughts which shape us as individuals. So though we may think we're only having experiences from these technological advances, we are not only. Technological advancements can indirectly shape who we are. An example of this is that technology is so advanced that information reaches our personal device in a matter of seconds. If someone is not careful, the information transmitted from technology interacts with our senses and begin to shape our thoughts, which shape who we are. Um, so, for example, someone hears or watches tragic news stories from their personal device, the radio, or television. Their senses are impacted by this information, which can cause them to feel confused, angry, or sad. With this being said, technology and its advancement is not bad or should be avoided. Rather, we should be careful for what we use it for or why we want to advance it. With all that being said, I want to apologize. I know that the video is pretty long, but I appreciate the time you guys have taken to watch this video, and I hope you guys all have a great day.